Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making videos, and this week what I thought we could do is make some like hangy paperclip pockets. I don't know really what they would be called, but I have got these big paper clips. I've used these before. They're like 3 inches in size. And I've got this idea from, I was watching one of Chelle and Clint's videos. That's Chelle, the Ramblin crafter. And she was doing these paper clips that I think she said she'd, well, I'm pretty sure that I saw, she'd received one in Happy Mail and then she made one. So I thought we could have a play around and try and make some of those and see, you know, what we can come up with. So again, I've just brought along a whole bunch of papers here. Some are double-sided, well, in fact, only one is double-sided. But this one I have painted with the stains from Patricia Varimontes stains, which I have got a video coming up using that. So there's that one. Now, some of these are on copy paper. As you can see, this is where I've been printing my butterflies when I was trying to get them right. And some are slightly thicker, so like 160 GSM card, and this one is 200 GSM. So we'll just have a play around. Obviously, when they're quite thin, we'll probably double them up with some book page or some sheet music. So again, you know, you would probably need some book pages. So I've just got sort of some book page here ready to use. And yeah, probably that. You're going to need your glue, obviously your scissors, and anything that you might want to decorate with. So, I don't know, lace or bling or flowers or anything you like. I don't think I'm going to be rounding my corners, but just in case, you might need, you know, your corner rounder. So again, I'll do the usual way where we kind of do a couple. Now, I haven't made one of these before, so I hope that this is not going to be one of those disastrous videos. You know, where I actually can't really get the hang of it myself, but let's give it a try. So let's give it a try first of all with my paper that's double-sided, purely because I'm hoping that, you know, that's going to be nice and straightforward for my first one. So it looks like I need to cut it about here like this, and I'm just going to cut the entire length of that sheet like that. And then I'm going to just trim this off from where my printer kind of sucked it through and just got that little edge. So like that. Now I just need to check if this is going to fit onto my paper clip. Okay, so what you've got now is your kind of basis for your pocket, whoops, your pocket tag, like that. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure that on Chelle's, I think it was a couple of weeks since I watched the video, that she kind of only had it a one-side pocket, if that makes sense. But I'm thinking you could maybe do it a two-side pocket. And I'm pretty sure that she kind of, you know, had cut it down. So if we just cut this down, for instance, here, like that, and then we'll just glue that on. So I'll just use my Fabri-Tac glue. Okay, just checking it's ready to come out. Okay, and I'll just go kind of near the edges like that. Okay, we fold that over. Just make sure that's nicely glued down. In fact, what I could do is clamp it with a paper clip there, and then make our little pocket on the front. We can just use that piece there. So I would just glue that down, and then we'll obviously trim it up and sort of tidy it up. But so, I mean, again, you could probably stitch these with your sewing machine, you know, without sounding like a scratch record, or maybe I am sounding like a scratch record. As you know, my sewing machine is not handy, so, you know, I'm not going to be using mine. Okay. Like that. So press that down. And then obviously we can just trim that up and neaten it up there. Like that. Okie dokie. Just go across the bottom a bit because it looks a bit wonky. Okay, and so there you've got your little hangy pocket, and then, you know, as usual, you could obviously just decorate that up a little bit. I might just put some lace trim across there. Okay. And I'm thinking that, you know, you might be able to actually make these by folding them over. I don't know whether this is going to work, but perhaps we will try that on the next one. So, I mean, that's my little pocket, and, you know, perhaps I'll just put a number tab or something on there, which I have some ready cut out here beside me, but no, not the colour that I would like. So let me just grab in. Oh, that's quite a good one actually. So let's just take that one. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay, and I might just pop that there. Don't think it really needs kind of too much on here. I don't want to, you know, flood it with stuff. So I'm just going to put that just over there. And then I just happen to have a little bit of bling here from something else. So, you know, I'll just finish it off with that, I think. Oops. Now I can't pick it up. Oh. It's going to be one of those clumsy days. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then obviously, you know, we'll just ink that up and it will be looking lovely, hopefully. So there we go. Oops. Ink all over there. And of course, you know, you can just ink the back as well. So, and because that lace is just flapping, or it was, I'm just going to pop a bit of hot glue under there just to make sure that that's, you know, properly stuck down. So, oops, now I've touched the hot glue, so that's not great, is it? It's going to be one of those days, I'm afraid, folks. It seems to have already started like that. And when it starts like that, invariably, it continues like that. So, yes, I apologise in advance. It's going to be a clumsy one. Right, there we go. And then, obviously, you know, you could just tuck something into your pocket. So, that's those. So, if we take another one... Well, let's just use that same, oops, I'm just putting the paper over to one side. So if I just, hopefully this is all in frame and fitting in frame. So again, I'm just going to sort of line it up with my paper clip so as I get it, you know, approximately the right width. Like that. So what I was wondering was if, for instance, this is our fold to hook it onto the paper clip. I'm wondering if we could literally just fold this up as the pocket. And then if I just cut it off so it's not so big. Like that. So, I mean, obviously it's a bit wonky now, but I just trim that down. And I mean, as you can see already, I've changed my method and I've made this off of the paper clip. I don't know why that is, and I, you know, yes, I apologise for why that's happened, but I mean, sometimes we just kind of change things as we go along. I don't know about you, but you know, I don't necessarily have a fixed way of making things, and it just, I might do it this way one time and, you know, a different way another time. It all just it all just evolves in some way, shape or form. Oops, just dropping that everywhere now. Okay, and actually perhaps I will round the corners of this one. I said that I wasn't going to, but yeah, just for a bit of a different look there. And again, we'll just ink that up like that. Okay, and let's just see what I've got floating about that might look okay. Oh, I have the note. Oh, come on. What else do I have here floating about? I've got, you know, you name it, it's here floating about. So yeah, there's no shortage. It's just a case of daring to touch things before they literally are sliding completely off of the desk. Oh, that's quite nice. Perhaps we'll pop him on there. So oops, okay. So I'm just going to pop him there like that. Okay. And then in a moment we'll make one from the copy paper where we obviously need to, you know, line it with some book page as well, just so that we go through all the different types. So we've got that one there. And then what should we put? What should we put on the pocket at the bottom? Let's have a look. Oops. Just seeing what I've got. Again, you know, just laying about. I was super lucky, and I have received an awesome storage container. It's like an octagonal tray. It did have a lid, but I've decided I'm going to keep it without the lid, I think, actually on my desk. And somebody has so kindly ordered that for me, and I received it, I think it was on Friday. But unfortunately it just came from the company, and so I'm not 100% certain who actually sent it. Well, I'm not any percent certain who sent it, because there was no name. And I am going to show it in a video, you know, in a future video, kind of, I've got some other things planned, and obviously I will share then the container with you. But yeah, I would love to know who sent it, because of course I can't now thank you to yeah, to say thank you for it. So if it was you and you sent it, you know, just please could you let me know so that I can thank you, because it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, thank you so much. So again, I've been doing some organising, which my version of organising is often, you know, I can't wait to use the new thing that I'm trying to use, and therefore the mess that was where I wanted to put, in this case, that container, has just literally been picked up and plonked, you know, on top of that other massive, already massive pile on my desk. So that massive pile that's normally kind of to the right of me, I can't tell you, is just, it's even bigger than ever. So yeah, I'm going to use my hot glue here, because that's just really nice and quick, and you know, I don't even have to hold it, then I can just literally press it and then I'm good to go. There we go. And again, might just put some bling on there, because of course, why wouldn't we? Yeah, so I have been enjoying, obviously, having a bit of a tidy up, you know, organising that little section anyway. And obviously my X-Piles videos, my X-Piles series, which thank you so much to those people who are, you know, some of you joining in, you know, clearing your piles, but also to all those kind people who said they were excited to watch anyway, even if they weren't going to be clearing. Yeah, thank you so much. but I had filmed those a few weeks ago, and yeah, so that was that one pile that I've obviously been clearing, but I have many piles, so still to go. So yeah, but the biggest one clearly is that pile that's constantly on my desk and a constant source of, you know, frankly, just shame. It should be just shame, really. Right, so I'm thinking this one. Now, actually, I hadn't really noticed, but what I could do is double that over, because that way we've got double thickness there. So that's, you know, that's one thing. I don't know whether that's quite thick enough. So what I was thinking was obviously just double layer that with some book page. So let's just go around there. Because I mean, you know, you want things to be strong enough to, you know, stand the test of time, really, don't you? You know, and I'm always very conscious of things, you know, falling apart, really. So, you know, you don't want things falling apart. Right, my book page isn't long enough, but that's absolutely fine, because that bottom bit was just going to be folded over anyway, so that's fine. So spread your glue out. Hopefully then it's all stuck down nicely. Okay, I'm just going to trim that piece off. I won't bother keeping that because it's pretty boring, isn't it? Okay, so let's just trim this down. Like that. Thinking I've done this one a bit too skinny, actually, and I might therefore have to use, you know, one of those medium paper clips. I don't know whether it's skinny enough to fit on one of these. Not really. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? I've done it a little bit too skinny for there. Well, it's fine. It will still be fine. Okay, so depending on how I want this, I might have it like maybe a bit further down, maybe there, like that. And then for our pocket on there, you know, again, this is where you can kind of use up bits and pieces. I mean, I've got this label, I could probably use that. It's not a perfect match. It's not really, not ideal, but let's see what else I've got. I've actually got this little bit of scrapbook paper that's too thin. Oh dear, what else have I got? Yeah, so I'm going to have to start planning some other things again to now whittle my, you know, increasing mess again down, because it's got even worse. Well, perhaps we'll just go for some book page, to be honest, on the front of this. So let's just take some book page, fold that over. Okay, so might as well just drop it down here. Maybe across that here. And then about there. Okay, get rid of that. And we'll just now glue this down. So yes, I'm filming this obviously on the, you know, the Monday. So for you, this will obviously be going up on the Tuesday. And I mean, it's supposed to be a heat wave this week again. I mean, as if we haven't had enough nice weather already, to be honest. I mean, not that I'm saying, oh, I've had enough, you know, let's hope it's horrible. But, you know, I just mean we've already had quite a heat wave, to be honest, for the time of year. But yeah, there's supposed to be yet another heat wave. So, but it remains to be seen, because when we got up this morning, it was blue skies everywhere, absolutely gorgeous looking. And funnily enough now, it looks quite grey. And I did, you know, make that mistake of asking Alexa again today what the weather was going to be like, and she didn't say thunderstorms, which that was an improvement, but I think she said top temperature of about 18. So that's not, you know, that's not heat wave weather, is it? So whether or not she was wrong, who knows? It remains to be seen how the day pans out. But my son did just get out the shower and he said, "Oh, it's a lovely day, isn't it?" And since he's, you know, gone down to get his breakfast, actually it's clouded over and doesn't look quite so good. So, right, yes, I have mucked this one up. It's a little bit on the skinny side, I have to be honest. And, you know, yeah, a bit irritating that I've done that. But, you know, never mind. So, again, I can just ink that up and it will still be fine. I mean, it's still got a little pocket there and you could put little tickets in or, you know, whatever that you wanted to put on there. So just, again, just ink the back there. And of course you could do these as doubles. So you could actually have another pocket on the back. So perhaps we'll do one of those as well. But I'm going to stop talking through the process. I will just kind of mention if I do things that are vastly different. For instance, if we do a double, I will talk through what I'm doing. But aside from that, I will stop talking about the process really, because, you know, they're not rocket science. And as I say, I mean, we have kind of done a couple now, so I don't want to just bore everyone completely by rambling on again about what we're making. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, that one, it's a bit irritating because I have obviously made it much too small for that paperclip, but it's fine, you know, it's fine. Once it's decorated up and things, it will look fine. So I'll just pop that to one side. So yeah, we'll just crack on and kind of make some, and yes, I will endeavour to be quiet now with regards to what we're doing. I might make this as the double, by the way, so just so you're, you know, aware roughly of what I'm doing. I'm going to get rid of that little rose to the side because it might look a bit weird, although then I might end up with another skinny one. We'll see. So yes, I hope everyone's been having a good week. What's everyone been up to? Have you been doing lots of crafting, having a nice time? I'm trying to think what we've been up to. My daughter said on, well, she said it on Friday. She said, "Oh, I'm really missing going to a restaurant." I mean, we don't go to restaurants overly often, but, you know, obviously we've been locked down for quite a while, so we would have obviously been to one in this length of time. So I said, "Oh, you know, that's a shame. How would you like to have a restaurant at home tomorrow night?" So we do like to have kind of family meal night quite often on a Saturday. And by that, I just mean we have like a pudding and, you know, something a bit more sort of tasty, and everyone makes the effort to actually be there to sit down. Whereas, you know, sometimes somebody might be missing because they're, I don't know, out or whatever. And yeah, she said, "Oh yes, you know, that would be great." So she was all for doing that. So yeah, we had a restaurant night and I was the waitress. So I, you know, they all had to kind of wait to be seated, and I sat them and, you know, I took their orders with the, just some Post-its, you know, just wrote down their orders. They had to go with the special because obviously that was what was on the menu. That was what was in the oven and on the stovetop. So yeah, they had to kind of just go for the specials that the restaurant was offering. I mean, we don't drink, so we had just some non-alcoholic wine. And we had some garlic bread to start. And then our main course, we had, you know, the fresh pasta. So we had some of that tagliatelle, which is lovely, isn't it? And tagliatelle, and I did a homemade pasta sauce just with some roasted vegetables and you know, tinned tomatoes and garlic and things and some herbs and balsamic vinegar and things, and then I just blended it all up in the blender. You know, I've made that sauce before. It wasn't kind of like a new recipe or anything. And it's dead quick and easy. So yeah, I just made some of that, and it was obviously, then it goes like a smooth sauce, you know. So I bought some you know, vegetarian meatballs. Well, they were vegan meatballs, and put that into the sauce, and that's what we had. And then I didn't have time to make pudding or anything, so I just bought, you know, a supermarket's own frozen chocolate gatto. I didn't have any, but you know, they did, and oh, they really liked it. And funny enough, they really liked the chocolate gatto. And I said, oh, you know, do you like it as much as the homemade desserts? They're like, yeah. So I thought, oh, well, there we go. Why waste all that time making things from scratch in future? So, yeah, but, oh, they really had a nice time, or she especially had a really nice time. So she put on, you know, a few weeks ago, I think I said that she had grown out of loads of her clothes, and you know, I had to like order some stuff for her. So one of the dresses, it was like, I think it was in the clearance section, but it was like a tutu skirt, but on the skirt it's covered in sequins, and they're sort of bright pink and iridescent. Anyway, so really pretty, and it's really heavy. The skirt's like really weighty because of all these sequins on it. So I could just kind of have that like that, actually, because if I'm going to do a pocket on the back, it doesn't really have to go down to the bottom, if you see what I mean. And actually, to be honest, I needn't have even covered it really with the bit page probably, but anyway, yeah, so she couldn't wait to wear her dress, you know, and obviously we've not been anywhere for her to be able to wear it. So she put her dress on to have the meal, and she's got some of those, you know, kids' plastic high heel things. So she put those on. I mean, actually, they're pretty small for her now because they must be meant for, you know, even younger children. And, you know, by high heels, I mean, they're like that, you know, but she obviously felt grown up in them, and she'd got them for Christmas. Might have even been the Christmas before last, I can't remember. Anyway, she put those on with her dress and everything, and oh, she was making such an effort as well not to get her food on her clothes, because she's a pretty messy eater quite often, and you know, she's forever kind of putting her fingers in her food, you know, like if she doesn't like something, she straight away puts her fingers in to pick it out, and you know, then she'll wipe her fingers on her skirt and things like that. So you know, even when she has tissue sat beside her that she could, of course, be using, but no, she likes to just use her fingers. But yeah, she made such an effort to not get any mess anywhere, bless her. And she said, oh, look, you know, I've kept my dress really clean so that, you know, when the restaurant's open, I could then, you know, I can wear my dress without having to wash it. So, yeah, she was obviously kind of concerned to save our washing, which again, that's a first. So, oh, but at one point she said, oh, this is the best night ever. Bless her. So, yeah, that was really, really nice that she had such a nice time. Well, we all had a nice time. Okay. So I am wondering again about kind of shortcuts, whether I could literally have that like that, because it's already folded. I mean, this is just a scrap. What I'm saying, you know, I'm not suggesting that you specifically fold a piece of paper over, but in my particular case, this is a scrap that was on my desk, and it, you know, it was something that was already folded and I hadn't then used it. So actually, rather than cut two pockets, I could actually attach it straight to my piece like this, if you see what I mean. So I think I'm going to just do that. And it's just a bit of a time-saving, you know, quick, easy way to do my pocket, really. So there we go, one there. and then just on the back there. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay. Okay. See, I have a temptation to keep this. What is that about? I have no idea. Right. I quite like them with the rounded corners actually, so I am going to round the corners. And obviously the beauty of this one is you've got, you know, your pockets either side. I mean, I say the beauty of this, I mean, that was the whole point, I guess, of doing this one, but, you know, that's really cool, isn't it? And I suppose, therefore, you know, you could then clip it this way or this way. And both would be perfectly fine, which is, you know, is quite nifty, I think. So, yeah, I quite like the idea of that. Okay, we just ink that up. And then again, you know, can obviously decorate that. And this time could obviously decorate both sides because you've got like a, you know, a double-sided paper clip. So yeah, that one's really cool. I might do another one of those. So I'll just bring in some more paper. Actually, I might use this one that I have stained on the back. So do I want to use this one? Not sure now. Oh, I don't know. I really love this paper, and so I'm struggling to cut into it. Like, yeah, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? But there we have it. That's sometimes just what I seem to do. So let's get a different paper that I don't mind cutting into quite so much. So right, got this one. So I'm thinking could cut down there. So again, let me just grab in another couple of paper clips. So hopefully I won't then make a big mistake with the width again, like I did with that other one. I think this is probably way too wide, but we'll just see. Because at least I can trim it down, whereas obviously that other one that I made really skinny, you know, there's no coming back from that, is there? It's not like you can alter that. It is what it is. Just skinny. Just skinny. So this one is now on 160 GSM cardstock, and so I'm actually going to just use it, you know, complete. These were on copy paper, so that's why I backed them with the book page. But this, to be honest, it doesn't really need backing because it's on that thicker card or paper anyway. So I'm just going to glue this together, and actually I'll just glue it with the Fabri-Tac. So. And we'll do this as a double-sided pocket again. So yeah, and the shops opened last week on Monday, and I mean, I haven't really been to the shops as such, except on Friday I had to pick my eldest son up from work because you know, he had his tools with him that he was able to leave there for like the week, but obviously you can't really leave them overnight. So I had to go and pick him up, and it's, I don't know, it's about 25 minutes from where we live. So I went to pick him up, and I just had to nip into a shop there, just our cheap shop that we have over here, to try and get my middle son, who wasn't with me because he had gone out to meet his friend, socially distancing with his friend, hopefully. Yeah, I needed to get him some more shorts and things because, again, obviously he's also grown out of a lot of things since last summer. So he literally is down to like one pair of jeans and one pair of shorts. So I nipped in to get him some other shorts. But actually, you know, I assume that obviously most children have probably grown out of a lot of things. So the selection was pretty rubbish, I have to say. Right, I'm just thinking that folding over thing worked quite well. So I think what I'll do is try and do that again. I'm just going to cut that down like that. Yeah, so I just had to pop in to get him some shorts, and it was okay actually, because they are being quite strict. You did have to queue like outside the shop because they're only letting, you know, so many people in at a time. So that's quite reassuring, because you weren't in there, you know, like really couldn't get away from people. So that was kind of okay. And obviously I wasn't in there for very long. You know, I just kind of went to the section that I needed to go to. I also needed to get some more hairbands, you know, both for me and my daughter really. Because all of our hairbands, they'd kind of snapped and things, you know. I tend to just buy like a bunch every so often, and you know, they don't last overly long, do they? Particularly in my daughter's hair, because often we have to cut them out because her hair's curly. So often we have to just cut them out of her hair. So yeah, I was down to not very many hair things left. So I just thought, oh, you know, so I just went to the sections that I needed to go to. I also had to get some flip-flops for my younger daughter. Yeah, not my younger daughter, my only daughter. Because she, again, with the, you know, buying off the clothes, they didn't really have any shoes. So luckily we were able to get her some trainers, like from the supermarket. But I mean, obviously when the weather's hot, they're quite hot. So she's still got her flip-flops from last year, which kind of fitted still. You know, being flip-flops, you can kind of get away with it. But more than that, they were obviously quite, not threadbare, but sole bare. You know, the soles were quite worn out. So, yeah, I don't know how much longer they would really kind of last her, to be honest. So, yeah, she obviously was in need of some more flip-flops. So I just got her some flip-flops, and also a little pair of sandals, because otherwise, you know, her feet are obviously getting quite hot in the trainers. And I thought, well, flip-flops aren't really suitable for everything, are they? I mean, they're not suitable, for instance, really on a bike, because they could fall off, you know. So, yeah, that was kind of all I did. But as I say, it was fine in there. I didn't feel too vulnerable or anything like that, because they were controlling the number of people in, you know, going into the shop and what have you, you know, really quite well. So it was all quite organised and quite well done, which was good. You know, because I did have reservations. I mean, like we said before, who knows really. I know that everywhere is opening up, and I know that, of course, you know, of course things do have to get back to normal. But it is scary, and you do wonder whether it's all too soon, don't you? And then you obviously hear reports of second spikes and what have you, and, you know, it's all worrying. So, you know, and it's all just very much trial and error, isn't it? Because this is an unprecedented situation. Nobody really knows kind of the right way. And, you know, I mean, I don't know. I've kind of lost track now of how long we've even been in lockdown for. But, I mean, obviously it's been quite a long time, hasn't it? I mean, you can't just stay in lockdown forever, I suppose. So, yeah, things do, of course, have to get back to normal. But it doesn't feel, I don't know. It just is worrying, isn't it? But, yes, that's kind of that, really. Oh, I'm going to have to do some food shopping today. Quite often do it on the Friday, and I think I've said, but my younger son has done it the last couple of weeks. He's, you know, gone in with my list and done the shopping. But we didn't bother doing it on Friday because actually we had kind of enough food for the weekend. You know, we just got that sort of stuff for our family meal night on the Saturday, just from one shop. We just bought literally what we wanted for that meal. So yeah, we didn't bother doing the shopping on Friday, which was great on Friday to be spared that and not have to do it. But obviously that just means we're going to have to do it today, because now we are kind of down to, you know, not the most exciting things left in the cupboards and the fridge. Well, the fridge is just, you know, like the ends of a cucumber, or, you know, a lettuce that's now like that size because it's just the middle of the lettuce. Yeah, so we're kind of got no choice but to now have to do some shopping. Sadly, because who wants to have to go and do that? It's not the most fun, is it? Right, so I might not go for that. I might do some book page for these pockets, because again, I didn't want to kind of lose everything from that piece of paper. Okay. And actually, whilst I'm doing this, I should probably bring in the book page and use this as a bit of a guide for the other pocket as well, for the other side. So that they're, you know, it's probably easier, isn't it, to do it like that. So I'm just going to cut this part down here, like that. And then, yeah, probably want it about that height. So that's not too bad. Okay. And I'll just trim that down. Yeah, I mean, just as long as it's nearly the size of the paperclip, then I can always trim it down once it's actually glued in place onto the paperclip. So, okay, let's do that. There's one, and this one. And TV wise, would you believe I don't think we've watched anything worth reporting on this week. I couldn't even tell you, to be honest, what we've watched. Last night we watched another Grand Tour. I know I talk about those all the time, but we really do like them. So yeah, we watched another Grand Tour last night, and honestly I don't think we've watched anything really that's been worthy of mentioning. Yeah, I can't think of anything at all, which, wow, it must have been a really, really rubbish week on the TV this week, mustn't it? I mean, we probably have watched things, but we must have watched, I don't know, maybe bits of things. Or perhaps we haven't really watched much, I don't know. I'm trying to think what I've watched at all. Oh, I watched, so if you're not from the UK, you might not know who this is, but there's a gentleman called Ross Kemp. He used to be in a soap opera here called EastEnders, and he does these fantastic, like, documentaries on, they're actually on ITV here, which again, I think you can get on BritBox, so you may have watched them, but he's, you know, he goes for quite controversial issues often, or, you know, just really good topics and subjects that he kind of, you know, explores and, you know, goes and sort of looks into. So he has this series called Living With, and then it's, you know, fill in the blanks. So can't think now what he's done them. I think homelessness, I think he did one on, and things like that. So I'm just going to check the time. Oh, we're up to 45 minutes. Well, I had best get decorating one, because I normally sort of cut off about 45 minutes to decorate one up. Yeah, so I think he's done one on like homelessness and things like that. So they're really good, and you know, they're very heart-wrenching, because obviously, you know, they're looking at topics that are, you know, not great. So, yes, I did watch his last week, which was, it was Living with Dementia. And, oh, it was so heartbreaking, because there's, like, versions of dementia that, you know, really target kind of much younger people. And there was a father who was only 40, and he had dementia, which, you know, was of course appalling, you know, for his family and things. Just, you know, I don't know quite what stage he's at, but I think he's had it for a while, so I'm guessing he must be quite ahead. And actually this particular man, he also had Parkinson's, which, I mean, the world just seems so cruel sometimes, doesn't it, to inflict, you know, both of those things on that same person. I mean, inflicting those things on any person is just awful, but yeah, to actually then have both of those things and only be 40, and he obviously still had quite a young family, and just horrible, absolutely awful for him. But yeah, so there was him, and then more shockingly, there was a little girl who was only 5, and she also had dementia. You know, this particular rare sort of form of it. I couldn't for the life of me tell you the name of it, I'm afraid, but absolutely heartbreaking, obviously, for her. And I think she was diagnosed. I was going to say she was diagnosed when she was 2, but I probably am off with that. They might have said they started noticing things when she was about 2. I'm not too sure of that, but so that was awful. But his documentaries, if you haven't watched them, they're really you know, they are tough subjects. I mean, they're not going to leave you warm and glowing, you know, at the end, but they're very worthwhile subjects normally that he's kind of tackling and looking at. And yeah, they're really good documentaries, and he does them in this most wonderful, you know, empathic way. Yeah, they're just really good, to be honest. So I don't know whether he's got like a new series. There normally are like, say, 3 of them at any one time, and then, you know, then it's finished kind of thing for another few months. That's the only one I've seen, so whether or not I just haven't seen any others this time around, or whether that was the first one and maybe there'll be another one this week, I'm not really sure, but they're very good. They're very well done, and yeah, he does them wonderfully. I think he's got a very nice manner about him, and you know, of course, that's what's needed when there's such, you know, sensitive issues being talked about. So I mean, he's done other ones where they go into prisons, and I can't really think of the other subjects that he's done now, but you know, they're really, really good, and very insightful, and yeah, always kind of dealing with things that, you know, we often don't really have any insight of or knowledge of, or, you know, and sometimes, you know, I'm the first person to sort of think this, sometimes ignorance is bliss, because of course these things are uncomfortable to know about, and you know, it's easier to shut these things out and sort of ignore them, isn't it? But I mean, it doesn't mean they're not happening. But yeah, so that's probably the only thing of note really that I've watched, other than Grand Tour, as I say, and that I just always think is of note because I just love it. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else that we've watched, but I'm sure there have been other things, but just, yeah, I obviously can't really think of anything in particular at the moment. Got these butterflies that I was kindly sent in my happy mail. I think these were from Amy, so I might pop one of those on. Now again, this is book page, and it's actually a single book page, so she did send me a few, and now I'm wondering where I've put them all, because it might be good to double that up so it's a little bit thicker. Now I'm not going to be able to find it, of course. Got a little scrap of lace there. This is, well, I was going to say this is because I've sorted my desk this week while I can't find anything. What utter rubbish. As if I can find anything normally. That's just not true, is it? To say, oh, it's because I've started sorting my desk. I mean, I can never find anything. So this is nothing unusual, is it? This is just par for the course. I mean, actually, I'm just thinking, because I've also got this piece here, which is now upside down. So I've just got a little piece left from this paper. And this piece of paper is from my platform number 2, background papers. This is my trellis birds. And the pink that I used, this one, is the roses are red. And that one is Edwardian. My mind's gone completely blank, I'm afraid. Edwardian. Oh, no, I just can't think what the name is, I'm afraid. So sorry. Honestly, I mean, if I can't remember their name, you know, there's no hope, is there? No, I don't want that. Right, I'm thinking a butterfly. So, again, I've got my freebie butterflies here, but I think they might be a little bit big for what I'm after. Oh, they might be okay, actually. Let's try one. Let's just try this one. Just cut that one out. Okay. Oh, and an update. I don't think I've spoken about this since, but yay, my daughter made it. She had kept her room tidy to her standards anyway. And yeah, I mean, every time she would take me into her room and she would say, "Look, Mum, look at the floor." That was her thing. Look at the floor. I mean, the fact that the rest of the room was still pretty messy, you know, that was kind of just didn't come into it. It was all about look at the floor. So, yes, I just had to look at the floor and ignore the fact that the rest of the room was still pretty untidy. But, yeah, so she made her dolls, you know, made it for her doll's house. And, yeah, she got that last week on Thursday. So, yeah, she's been enjoying playing with that. And, yeah, she's pretty chuffed with that. So, yeah, she's very pleased for her that she had managed to keep her floor tidy. I mean, I have said this before, her room is not the biggest, and you know, her floor space is not that big, so to be fair, keeping the floor tidy was probably not that big a, you know, challenge. But yeah, I mean, the fact that her windowsill is covered in stuff, her, you know, her shelves are covered in stuff, her bed is piled with stuff, you know, it's it was neither here nor there. Her thing was always, you know, look at my floor, look at my floor. So, you know, but bless her, I mean, that was an effort for her. So, yeah. And of course, I'd already said, hadn't I, that I had bought it, you know, for that brilliant price of £40 from Argos, or £43, I think it was. And of course, you know, it was still in the box when I talked about it before. So I hadn't seen it in the flesh, and I wondered what it would be like, you know. Oh, it was lovely. You know, I mean, I would have loved it as a child. So, yeah, I was really pleased. Because, you know, of course, when you buy things, you don't really know. You can go by the reviews, but reviews are always so mixed, aren't they? Because, you know, what one person deems as lovely, you know, there's another review or another 3 reviews saying it's rubbish. So it was kind of, yeah, hit and miss what it was going to be like. But yeah, it's lovely. So she was very pleased. Right, I'm just going to pop this down here. Yay! And then we're done. Okay, so that's our paper clips. I have to say we didn't make a whole bunch today. I don't know whether I'm just getting worse at these mass makings or just more unproductive generally. I'm not sure. So how many did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we've done 6, and I mean 6 is still, you know, 6 that now I have ready in my stash ready to use. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed them. I hope that you're going to possibly make some, and if you do, have fun, and hopefully see you guys soon. So yep, hope that you're joining in with my X-Piles videos. If you're not, and you know, you think that might be something that you fancy, we're just taking a pile of stuff and making some things in order to get it off of the floor, basically. Yeah, so that will be continuing on my channel to, you know, tomorrow on Wednesday. So thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you all have a lovely week. I will see you guys soon. Thanks then.